Dear students, today we are going to discuss about the very nice concept, how to get the funds from government for the startups. So this session has been titled as Government of India Support for Innovation and Entrepreneurship in India. Our government is supporting the entire business of the startups. So let us see how the government is supporting the entire business today. So before going to that one, let us see a simple example about the today's news clip, what it is mentioning. It shows us building the future. India's startup symphony from funding to flourishing success. That means at present, the Indian startups are doing well and they are going to get more funds. It is around more than 23,000 US dollar in crore stamps. That is how our startup is going to grow. That is why in this session, we are going to discuss nicely how the startups are going to get the fund. If you are a good entrepreneur, if you are doing a nice business, how you are going to get the funds. That is the today's story. So the agenda for this one, we are classified like that. First part, what is the process of funding the strategies for startup? Second one, what do you mean by angel investment? Of course, it is not coming under the startups of government, but you must know the angel investment. Then the government funding. We are going to see some of the examples of the union government funding. Then we will come back to Karnataka. What are all the funding opportunities from the government of Karnataka? Finally, as we are living in Silicon City of India, we are going to see what are all the funding opportunities government of Karnataka provided, especially to Bangalore. So that is our agenda. Let us see. And first we will recall the past one. How to fund the startups. As you know, there are different stages involved in startups. It starts from the identifying the innovative idea and ends with commencing the business operation. Once you identified all those things, now we have to get the funds. Where to get the funds? Usually, there are two main stages available. First one is equity funding. That is how to finance the new business from your own pocket money. That is the equity funding. Debt funding, you are going to get the money from others. You have to repay and you have to repay all these things. So you have to pay interest to them. That is the debt financing. But most of the cases now we are having hybrid financing also, both debt and equity financing also available. That is how the funding for any business. But when you coming to the startups in early stages, when you start your business, that is called seed funding. In the second stage, venture capital will fund you. Once the venture capital funds you, then you have to get the funds for growth. By that time only, the government source can come. Understand? Once the government source are ready to give the money, then you can start up your business. Then, if your business is growing nicely, you have to move towards the IPO. That is, when you are moving towards the IPO stage, that means the startup has been converted into a scale up. You are going to close as the startup. You are going to fund and start a new business as a joint stock company. That is how the startup funding stages are there. Let us see the first source, the angel investing. Angel investing means the first seed fund. Who is going to give? Usually, most of the entrepreneurs, they are getting fund from the technopreneurs, even celebrities, all these people. If your business idea is nice, you will get the funds from the even celebrities as a seed capital. It is not only from celebrities, you can utilize from the angel investors. The angel investors are those who are funding for the startups as a seed money. If your business idea is good, you can see the simple example of Virat Kohli, our cricket player. He has given a seed money for a number of business, digit insurance, universal sports sim, chisel, Ray Coffee. All these are all funded by the cricket person, that is Virat Kohli. How he funded all those things? He identified a nice business opportunity is coming. So he is providing the seed capital to these people. So this is called angel funding. Once the angel funding is successful, next stage, we will go for the venture capital. Or we can go for the funding from the government of India source. Let us see what is the procedure for funding from the government. Whoever may be, there are 4 stages involved in case of funding from the government stage. One is the DBIIT, that is Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. This was the apex body to identify your startup, whether it will grow or not. And once DBIIT receive your application, now we are having the single window system of application, they will send to the experts advisory committee. The experts advisory committee will scrutinize your application, whether your startup is good, whether it is viable, it will benefit to the entire India. That is important. Once the expert advisory committee gave green signal, then it will go to the incubation. Incubation, this is the lab created all over India to develop your product to fit into a business style. We have to commercialize your product. That is the incubation stage. Once the incubators gave green signal, then you can start your business. The Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade will recognize you as a startup. Still, that one, it is called incubation. Once these people recognize you as a startup, then they will go for funding. So understand, this is the main concept for this session. That is, if you want to get fund, you have to approach to the Department for Promotion and Industry, Internal Trade. They will send to the Experts Advisory Committee. They will send to the incubators. Once the incubators mention clearly that the prototype or the product has been ready for commercialization, then you are said to be a startup. So that is a stage regarding the incubation. So once the startups are started, then you have to find out how to get the fund. In case of government funding, it is classified under 4 headings. First heading, government-backed incubators. Government itself is running number of incubation centers. And if you approach them, they themselves will scrutinize everything and get the funds. That is the first one. Second one, now almost in all the universities and colleges, we are having incubation center. Mostly we used to call it as Atal incubation centers, and Atal innovation centers are there. Tinkering labs are there. They are the people who are ready to forward your application for funding. Then sector-specific incubators are there. If you are doing in the software, that software technology park is there. They will ready to fund you. The next one is the private incubators. Private people who are doing nice business, say for example, Hindustan Unilever, they are also funding. That is coming under the private incubation. Then corporate people. Most of the corporates under the CSR funds now providing funds for the startups. So these are all the classifications of the funding where you can get the fund if you are ready to start up your business. Let us see few examples from the central government. First one, we used to call it as Make in India scheme. Under Make in India scheme, there are number of sectors, but there is only single window application system. If you send your application, they will scrutinize in which sector you are going to start up, then that sector will fund. That is Make in India scheme. Indigenous one, whatever the supplies you can get from anybody who are all coming under the Make in India scheme. Another one, MSME startup scheme of Government of India. These people will help you if you are coming under medium or small scale industries, and this MSME startup will help you. Once again, it is from the DBI 80 only. A single window system has been created by Government of India. Through that, if they identify that it is coming under MSME, you will get the funds from the MSME. This is another thing. Even for a medium scale, they are ready to fund. But of course, 10% to 20% they will give. Such type of funding is available. Then another scheme is called Startup India. Everybody knows that one. Under the scheme, you will get the tax benefit also. If you are ready to start up a new business, you can approach the Startup India scheme. Next one is the Atal Innovation Mission. These are the few examples where you can get this fund. Atal Innovation Mission, they are having tinkering labs. They are having labs in different places. You can get the fund. Another example is the STEP, that is Support to Training and Employment Program. This is especially for the women. Next one here is the Digital India. Under the software as well as the hardware, you can get the funds from the government under the scheme called Digital India. Then if you are having a biotechnology related product, you can get the funds from BIRAC, that is Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council. Then if your business is globally moving towards that one, we are having ASEAN, India Science and Technology Innovation. They are ready to fund. Another one, scheme. This is for women. Science for Equity, Empowerment and Development. These are all the schemes of the Government of India. Another is trade-related entrepreneurship assistance and development. They are also providing more funds for the women. Then we are having the Pradhan Mantri Kushal Vikas Yojana system. Under that, they are giving the funds for the small business. Then skill councils. There are more than 25 skill councils in India. Irrespective of anything, if you are coming under their skill sector, they are ready to provide funds. Then Stand Up India scheme, which is ready to provide funds in the least developed area or developing places, priority sectors, especially in case of rural India. Coming to the Government of Karnataka also, we are having number of schemes. First one, startup policy of Government of Karnataka. They identified from 2015 to 2020. Now also it has been extended. You can get the funding from the startup policy scheme of the Government of Karnataka. Then, in case of Karnataka, we are having the K-Tech Innovation Hub, which is provided by NASCOM. NASCOM joined together with the Government of Karnataka, and for the purpose of software industries, they are providing the funds. Then another one, K-Tech Innovation Hub. It is especially for Bangalore. And it is in Bio Innovation Center also. If your product comes under the biotechnology scheme, they are ready to provide the fund. There are some of the institutes there, entrepreneurship development institutes, they are giving training. Another interesting thing in Government of Karnataka is KSIDC, that is Karnataka State Industry and Infrastructure Development Corporation. They are providing money for small and medium scale industries. Then Karnataka State Small Industries Development Corporation, they are providing money for the rural industries if you are starting that one. Then SASA is there. It is for especially Bangalore. Then for the purpose of women empowerment, we are having a WEG scheme, especially created by the women entrepreneurs in Bangalore. Now it's spread to entire Karnataka. Then TECOs, Khadi and Village Industries Commission, they are providing for once again rural India rural Karnataka, then especially for self-help group. These are the organizations which are providing money for the startups in Karnataka. Another scheme has been introduced that is called crowdfunding. You can get the funds from the crowd sources, anybody. That is for the corporates. Likewise, coming to the Bangalore, we are having the industrial estates in Bangalore. It is coming under the industrial estate schemes of India. We are having SIPCOT, SEZ, STP, Tidal Park, everything. SEZ, we are having the units in Bellary, Koppal, and Raichur districts. Coming to the North Bangalore, you might have seen our Bangalore airport itself is coming under the startup scheme. They have provided money from the startup scheme for constructing the airport also. The Bangalore airport, Bangalore aerospace, it is located around 950 acres. Then International Convention Center is there. Disneyland theme park is going to come. These are all how government of Karnataka is providing funds. The main advantage, you will get 3 years of tax exemption. So as a summary, if you want to do business, the funding, you have to identify correct source from where you can get the funds. First, you can get funds from any celebrities or angel investors. Second, you can get from central government.